Hello everyone. I'm just trying out a few things, so apologies if my camera is a little bit off here and there. But I got the new Weaver tool, 14-inch one, and it's really heavy. So I wanted to try out how that works with little small clay, little medium one, and then a little extra one. So I also wanted to try out the Griffin tool, which I got from Amazon. I just wanted to try out that and see how that works on this new system. And also, I have new mic, I have new camera. So let's see how this all goes together. Let me just put this thing down so that you can see what I'm doing. Okay, and then I'd like to just, okay. There we go, that's much better. My camera keeps moving. Okay, that's much better. And my kiln is also going on the other hand, so I'm just going to adjust a few things here and there. But overall, I'm going to try this little thing here. Okay, this is my small one. And I got like a medium one and a little larger size. As you can see, there's a little bit of comparison. Maybe it's hard, but yeah. Okay, so let's just, I'm using, okay, for this one, I don't have, this is the Weaver one, so it does not come with the pins. So what I did is I'm using bat mate down at the bottom so that it gets stick, and then I kind of I made it wet, and then I centered it. Now it went a little off-centered. Let me know if you can hear me well. Okay, there. So I'm going to do like a smaller sized piece and then a little medium one and then large one. So let me grab all the tools for doing the work. Okay, let it be here, my little thing, and then let me grab some water. Usually this will cost somewhere around $200. But this lady is so sweet that she gave me only for $100 with all the tools that come with it, which I needed a little bigger sized, and for me, I was using my smaller one. It's right behind there, and I was actually struggling with adjusting the height of it, but I feel like this is really good size, and I love it because it's good size and it's wide enough and it can fit my Griffin tool, because I ordered it without realizing that it is large for that one, that you cannot even fit. So I struggled and I wanted to return that Griffin tool, but I just decided to keep it because centering for me is a bit tricky. I can center it, but it'll take a few minutes. So I just wanted to try that Griffin tool because I know it makes life so much easy and I can do things quick enough, centering and everything, especially when I am doing, especially when I'm trimming things. That will be a lot easier. Okay, so far so good. I really like how smooth this wheel is, and it's pretty much brand new. She don't know how this can be used, so she's like, well, at least I can share it with someone who know actually how to do throwing, I guess. So she just dropped it off this morning. I'm very grateful for her because she seems so sweet. Okay, so, and she kept it so clean and she dropped it off without any additional charges. So in case if you're planning on getting anything, check out Facebook Marketplace, where you get a lot of good items. I'm not advertising Facebook Marketplace, but I really genuinely found really good items for very few bucks. So yeah, before you head out to Amazon or marketplaces, you can actually go check out Facebook Marketplace, where I think I've heard this quote where, what is it called? Others' trash is your treasure, something like that. Help me out. Hello, everyone. I just wanted to say hi. Nice to see you all. Okay, so I made a little well here and taking out my excess clay. And the good thing is I really have a nice kind of like a table kind of thing that I am able to adjust it. Not adjust, I mean to say, excuse me. I can place my tools and everything over there, which I'm not with my little one, because as you can see, this does not, it just has the wheel space and there's no additional space for me to things like, oops, that dropped two down, but I can fit my things here and I can adjust size, the height that I want, the legs of the wheel and things like that. So it's very nice. I like it so far. So good. And my clay, I just recycled it yesterday. I know a lot of people like recycling videos for some reason, which I actually fall in love with the recycling videos also, because that's one of my favorite. And that's how I think I fell in love with clay. I'm not lying, but I actually like recycling a lot. And watching recycling videos a lot. Let me know if any one of you like the same, because clay, when you see the recycling, I think it gives you a little bit of satisfaction, that and the smell of the clay, I love it. But yeah, okay, this clay is really smooth because I don't let my clay get harder, because it's easy for me to get the shapes as I want when I do things. It's really smooth and very soft that I don't have to do too much. Okay. And okay, now that I kind of pull the walls, let me fix the, oops. Oh, okay. Let me adjust that. Okay, I need to cut that a little bit. That happens. Oh, just a sec. Let me get my pin tool. Here it is, my pin tool. Okay, I can actually use this place now because I can. Okay, that's nice. It's good, good place. So let me cut this out because I don't really like how it's wobbly and my walls are really thin. So, okay, look at that. It's very soft, very gentle. Okay, I'll take that clay out and put this one over here. If you're new, hello, welcome. My name is Hima, and I recently started Play Garden by Hima, which I have been using this channel before just to kind of like post some of the vlogs, but then recently I fall in love with it, which 4 months ago, and ever since I kept posting these videos, because honestly, this is what I feel connected to. So I started sharing what I feel to others as well, so that they can feel connected as well. I really like the way that clay treats people, because I love planting things, and I am used to kind of playing with dirt. So I don't mind touching clay, which it feels really kind of helpful when I'm really stressed, I can come back to clay, and clay helps me to de-stress. So let's gently pull that. Okay, I think I like it. And let me do that. I need to get used to this one because I feel like I'm treating this one as a new wheel, but yeah, okay. So what I'm trying to do here is a small mug. Let's see how that goes. Maybe I can pull a little bit more. The clay is very soft, that's why my walls are really wobbly at this time. But I think we can do this. Even if we don't, we can restart it, that's fine. Or we can go to the next one. Okay, and then let me give it a little bit of belly. I love to have some sort of a belly. Okay. That's cute, but it's very funny when I see that. There's too much water. You're putting too much water, I guess. It's funny. Let me see again. Push that. We can lift it off. Okay, that did work, but I still think it needs a little bit of okay, I changed my plan of, okay, clay changed its plan now. Let me fix that again. Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay, let's see if we can lift that again. For that, I need some water, of course. There. Rebuild that one more time. But I still need to cut it down because it's still a lot wobbly. Okay, you see that where we started and how much clay we are down to? Have you ever done or played with clay before? If yes, please let me know. And is my orientation portrait or is it landscape? Just let me know because I feel like it is asking me to change the orientation. I'm not quite sure how you're seeing this. I hope is that not letting me do anything because it's stuck. Or maybe that's the way it acts. Okay, so let me just do that as a maybe dippable, chip and dip bowl maybe. Oh, that is so cute, adorable. Okay, I'm going to cut this or keep it like this. Okay, that's perfect. With clay, it is really hard for me that I genuinely feel I don't know when to stop because you love it so much and you want it to keep doing something or change its shape even though you like it a lot. But yeah, that happens. It is okay as long as you are enjoying the process. But how was your week? Is it all good? Have you had an amazing week? I'm really happy to see you all here once again. And I genuinely am thankful. I had an amazing week, though it is stressed a little, but I'm here to de-stress myself. And yeah, I like it. So far, it's one of the best weeks because what's there not to be best? Okay, And then I slowly take the extra clay out there. And then I use my sponge to clean it. It is very satisfying just to see. When I see the videos, I love to do, like, I love to watch extended, like an hour videos, hour long. But yeah, I don't know what. I can't stop watching clay videos because I love it so much. I hope that's cute, right? Isn't that cute enough? It has like a small belly, and then it is so cute. Okay, so now let's put this one aside. I'm gonna put it down so that you can see that and compare the size. Okay, now let's throw a little medium sized, which it is also a little too much compared. Okay, but let's do that because, oops, because my Griffin tool, I wanted to test that out. I have like my new Griffin tool for trimming, so I wanted to test that out. And this clay genuinely needs very little, what is it called, wedging, because it works really, really good, and not too many air pockets can be found. As you can see, it's so soft. I love that. I love to touch it. It's so nice. Okay, and then pat, 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 pat. And take that extra clay so that it has round shape. And then add some water. And then clean that surface so you can see it better. At least I like to clean it once in a while so that I can see better where my clay is at, and I can feel it. Okay, I think I like that so far. Let's cone it. This clay, like I said, one of the advantages of keeping it soft is that I don't have to hurt my wrist so much. When the clay is hard or it's fresh out of the bag, it's very hard for me to do the coning. That is because the coning will take too much pressure, and you have to push that from your belly to do it the right way if you have too much clay. Or core, if you will. Why did I say belly? But yeah, okay, so let me just do one more. And I'm gonna speed up my wheel when I'm doing this, especially when I have too much of clay. But it's not too much, though it is very helpful to speed it out. And there you go, that's nice. And then using my slip, I am going to, without adding excess water, just lean towards to the front and then push the clay down. It's very soft and gentle. Isn't that satisfying to see how it is moving? Okay, so I like where it is right now. Let me make sure the sides are all good. Yep, the sides are all good as well. And then using the clay, let me adjust the chair because it's a little out of the shape. Okay, and let's just do that one more time. Get some more water. Oops, that's a lot, but that's okay. Okay, now I'm going to form a bell with my two thumbs, and just go however deep you want it to, because a lot of pottery people out there, they leave too much place or too much of a they don't go too deep. That's because it'll give us room for making whatever shape of the whatever foot we can, and we can trim however we want. So it's easy if you leave a little extra clay down at the bottom when you're doing the foot. It's very helpful. Please check out my channel and consider subscribing if you're new here, because I love to see you all more, and I hope you like these pottery videos. Even if you don't, that's okay. Okay, so let me pull the walls outside, and I need to add a little bit more slip here. Okay, and then pull the walls. Okay, I wanted to show you one of the other ways that I've learned is, like, if you really don't know how much, you just push the pin and then take this thing out and see. That's actually good. I mean, even I think I can leave a little bit more, but that's okay since I've already pulled it. That is okay for us to leave right where it is right now. And then pull the walls gently so that, and hold the clay so that it won't go beyond, at least until we pull the walls. Okay. And then I'm going to use my sponge here. And pull those walls a little to the top. Don't just let the walls, don't stop right in the middle, because that's where most of the issues will be. At least I've experienced multiple times that if I just leave the wall somewhere, then it just goes uneven, and later on it will be hard or it will be too thin to fix. So I'm going to clear some of the water from the center and push the walls, because there's too much of a clay there. So I wanted to push the walls towards, or push the clay towards the walls. Okay, and then you simply just keep pushing however much you want, and then come back and fix the walls one more, or pull the walls one more time. I'm excited today because I'm going to get my bisque firing done, and I can't wait to see, because I had to fit a lot of them in my kiln, because I have a lot of pieces sitting there in my on my shelf for a really long time for bisquing. So finally I was able to do the bisque firing today, and I cannot wait to open the kiln. I was peeking in, and I just saw a teeny beeny bit of a big pot on the top, and that one seems to be working just fine. And let me quickly show you where my kiln is. It's right next to me, and it's cooling down. You can see that it's 252, and the bisque firing is complete, but it's still taking its sweet time to completely cool down. And you cannot take the kiln or open the kiln when it's above 150 at least. I mean, you have to ideally wait until it reaches to 100, but you can take out slowly the peepholes maybe. And then I heard multiple comments from different pottery people, which they say that some of it will be cracked because of the temperature shift. And I thought that is true after doing a few bisque firings because I have seen some S cracks. And I genuinely don't know. I was thinking that because I kept peeping in, maybe there was like a temperature shift, and so hence the result of some of the S cracks on some of my pieces. But honestly, I like it because that's my valuable lesson that I've learned, and I don't mind to do more mistakes because I can learn a lot. Especially, I'm at the beginning stage, so I'm not worried about making mistakes. And it's one of the greatest lessons that clay teaches you because you can implement that in your real life situation too. That it's okay, mistakes, we do mistakes, and we have to continue doing mistakes, but we have to learn from them as well. Until we learn from those mistakes, I think karma keeps repeating, and it'll give us similar lessons if we don't learn any lessons. Okay, here I am cutting out a little bit of clay. This is so delicate. Come on, clay can't be that delicate. Okay, so here we go. And just clear that because I keep splashing water all over. Okay, and then slowly and gently, I am making sure the walls are even, and I'm slowly pushing down my hands to feel how the clay kind of aligned throughout the walls. I'm just going back and forth there. That feels good to me. Okay, so I pinched the wall up at the top just because I don't want the wall on the top to be very sharp. So I pinched it a little bit, not too much, but just a little enough. I like it as a bowl, but I wanted to give belly. I don't know. I'm obsessed with the belly of these things that I'm making. You let me know. Do you like belly for this one, or should I leave it? Do let me know what you think. However, I can't see the comments. That's weird. I cannot even see anything. I cannot. Yeah, even with me touching anything, it's not doing anything. So I can't read your comments, unfortunately, if you're commenting out anything. Um, so let me push the clay from the bottom towards the wall so that it looks nice and even. I do a lot of work with the sponge for some reason. I've seen so many people using the ribs to pull and to even it out, but I feel like sponges work just great when I'm especially doing the small ones. Oh, and here's the lesson that I've learned also. When I was doing pottery, I would always touch the pot when the wheel isn't rotating. My instructor told me do not do that because I did that multiple times, and she's like almost slapped my hand, like do not touch it because it's not gonna work. It's not gonna behave the way that you want. If you touch it, it's gonna be wobbly, and it takes you a long time to fix it. So okay, just a small just a small belly, okay? Not doing too big. Let me just do two. Okay, I think it's not bad. I like it. And let me just pull the walls a little bit more. A little bit more so that a little bit more. There. There. I like that. Ta-da, it's cute. Okay. And now we can use you can take out excess clay from the bottom. I'm not going to take too much because that is going to mess up with the pot because it's so gentle. Okay, there. I'm cutting it and then going deep down until I touch the bottom of the clay. Okay. And then here is another smart technique that I've learned from my instructor and some YouTube shorts as well. So just let the water follow your rib. The tool. And then when there is water that is separating between the bottom clay and the piece, you cannot, because I get frustrated when I see some of the clay that is kind of attached to my piece, which is okay. I mean, later on I can trim it and let it go. But sometimes it's annoying when I'm doing really nice piece and then it just kind of touches it and then makes the piece wobbly, or like it just goes out of shape. So I prefer to drop some water in there most of the time, and then I let the extra clay kind of go out of the space. Okay, and then I can use my soft rib and kind of even out the walls, not letting the shape go from how I want this one. Take out that excess clay and simply just clean it. There. Perfect. I love it. Okay, so use your pin tool. You can drop that. Use your pin tool, or this one would work great to lift it because it's pretty much got stuck. I can actually use, I can separate it out from the bat whenever I'm ready, or it's leather hard. That way I'll be able to, because like I said, the clay right now is very delicate and I don't want to mess up with the shape. So I'm going to put that here and then take my next one and throw the bigger piece that I have here. This is comparatively a good chunk of clay. That's because I'm going to try out the Griffin tool. Let me show you. I have been talking about it, but let me show you what that is, if there are anyone that are not aware. Okay, so this is the tool that I got, and this is primarily used for trimming. And I like to try this because it saves a lot of time when it comes to centering. And centering is where you get even walls, and then, oops, sorry for the noise, even walls, and you get to kind of you can have more control if you wanted to trim. So that's why I like to do that. Okay, so here comes our big chunky chunk clay. This is a little big of the size. Okay, so generally you're not supposed to have your hands too wet. You have to like clean out your hands and then place your clay here, just because it'll have too much of grip. But since I feel comfortable throwing that with my wet hand, Otherwise, you have to wipe out your hands and then touch the clay, because that technically will be more workable. Okay, so pat, 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 and then use your finger to kind of hold the clay. That way, it will get stuck to the bat and will not move too much. So I like to do that as regular practice. Some people, they can pat and they can let go of that step, but I teach my kids like that. My kids love to do some wheel throwing as well. They are excited when they saw it. They were like, "Okay, Mom, can we use our small wheel for us to throw?" And I said, "Yeah, sure." Because they were competing before, like, "Can we please do it right when I am in the middle of doing this process?" They'll be like, "Can we please do it?" I'm like, "I'm sorry, but I'm really glad that we have two now, that I get to practice on one and they can practice on the second one." And by the way, they're only 8 and 5, and yes, they can wheel throw in their own way. Not super perfect, but they can do it. I mean, during the trimming process, they broke their pieces, but other than that, they over trim and then they kind of get that out of shape or they break it. But normally they're really good for their age, is what I think. Do you like doing pottery? I love to do pottery. I don't know how many of you who stopped by kind of enjoy the process. I mean, right? Like even when you see the process, it's very, very satisfying, and it's very kind of like connected to like nature. But when you touch it, you actually get some hormones released that will let you sleep really well. So that's another thing. Like, I get to do this late nights and then I can go to sleep and I can get up without any problem, because the amount of sleep that I get during the 4 hours or 5 hours is still good enough for me. I don't know how, but I can still lead the day with that amount of rest. At times, yes, I get too busy and I cannot get enough rest, but yeah. Okay. So when I'm centering, if there is anybody who's wondering that are not familiar with this process, centering in this step, or this is called coning. During this step, you have to make sure that this is centered properly. Otherwise, your pieces will be all kind of different shapes. I can only tell just because I did that. Okay, and what is centering, by the way? When I am holding the clay with my palm, with my left palm, because I'm a right-hander, when I'm holding it, if my hand is not shaking too much, that's when we call it centering. If my hand is sturdy and I right now I don't feel anything other than my my bat that's pushing me, but the clay itself is centered. Okay, here. So the bat is kind of like throwing my hand here and there, but my clay right now is very good and feels like it's centered. And some people do try with their eyes closed. The reason is that they can feel the clay and they can actually make sure that there are no irregular walls, or like how actually it feels. You can you can feel with your eyes closed. But you can see how my hands are not shaking. Oh, look at that heart shape. I love that. Okay, and then I think I like the width of this. I'm going to make another bowl with this. So I take out that extra clay. Use a little bit of water. Another thing is the less water you use, the better it will be, because you're not messing up with your clay, especially the right now. Water sometimes, so I kept playing with my sponge, which makes it easy for me, and I'm reusing that slip and water. Okay, so I'm pushing with the sponge because I don't have enough room to fit my both fingers, so I'm pushing the walls with the sponge. Like I said, I use sponge way too many times, way too much, and that's okay because it's however you like. And I don't need too much pressure, honestly, because like I said, this clay is very soft. It's like you're touching cheese. It's very soft. Okay. Hello everyone. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. That means a lot, and it genuinely encourages new questions, and I feel really inspired when people leave a comment, thumbs up, or subscribe. Okay, I'm pulling the walls. That means I am pulling the extra clay all the way from the bottom, and this is extra clay that don't want it to stay there, so I let it go. Okay, I need a little bit of water because my hands are too dry. When you don't have enough water, when you're touching clay, that will lead to the clay kind of come off the piece, and it's going to be hard to shape however you want. Okay, I'm going to do one more pull from the bottom, and I can feel that there is a lot of clay. So it's not actually pulling, it's pressing my fingers against the sponge. When I do that, okay, this is way too fast, so I'm gonna go slow, the speed wise. So that's really big. As you can see, my hand is wide enough or big enough. And okay, might have to cut some, but okay. And then I'm feeling how the walls came, and I can see there is some irregularity. And then let me clean in the center and take that, and I'm going to use that water just because it's a little tight, and then push towards the center so that I can do whatever I want with the shape when it comes to shape. Okay, and then I'm going to put the sponge here. Okay, I can feel that there is irregularity in like in the height of the walls. So let me get that pin tool and cut it a little. So the whole time I have to hold my hands together to support each other. Isn't that great? Just like a family. We have to support each other all the time. Okay. Okay, so there. And then as soon as you cut, you can see that there is excess clay that needs to be evened out by holding your two, like you're not pinching, but you're just feeling the clay. and you're making, you're taking your sponge and you are holding it just there gently, and then don't pinch too much. But in my case, my clay is very soft and it like even when I touch, it's getting very sensitive. But yeah, so it's kind of like evened out, right? I like that. And now let me push that extra clay from the bottom towards the walls and get to my shape right now. Like I said, I like to have a little bit of belly, and let me do that. I'm slowly pushing that. Okay, I like how it turned out already. And then I'm taking the excess water out, just because if there's water, the piece is going to be break. The piece is going to break. So we have to be extra gentle. And I think I'm going to pull that a little closer and make it like a vase. Isn't that cute? I love the shape of it already. Okay. Just trying to make sure that the top isn't going out of shape. And my hands are dry. So let me pull that. Let me take out the extra slip and then kind of clean from inside. Oh, there's extra water again. Okay, that is really pretty. So let me actually go a little closer, and I don't want it to be going out of shape. So hold that, and you don't have to move your wheel too fast at this point, because there are too many things that you have to focus on. So let your wheel kind of go gently, not too fast, not too slow. The only thing that I'm missing with this wheel is I get to see what speed I am running on the other one, but with this one I have to just feel. That'll be especially helpful when my kids are throwing, but when I am throwing, I'm fine because I'm able to feel it. When my kids are throwing, they get to see how fast they want and they get to see how slow they can go. But for me, I think this is perfect. Okay. There, that looks cute. Maybe let me just cut a little bit of it to make even walls one more time, because it went out of shape already. Okay, slowly use your pin tool and lift it off. And again, do the same thing. Take your sponge and not pinching too much, but just make your hands kind of, oops, okay, there's enough water. Make your hands just be there, not pinching or redirecting anything. Okay. Okay. And then let it softly and gently, feel free to adjust any of the size irregularities, or I mean to say the thickness of the walls. You can simply slowly press it and let it go. Okay. Okay. So now I like the shape of it. I'm not going to do any more. I'm going to let it be like that, and I will go deep and take the excess clay from the bottom. Slowly and gently let your tool touch the clay, and if it's too hard, take that excess clay that is stick to your tool. Okay, And then just how we did it before, let this tool guide how to like pour more water. Okay, you just have to, okay. You just have to use this to gently direct water. And there's a little puddle that'll help us to kind of clean the bottom of this vase without this clay touching to the piece. Okay, there it is. Take that extra clay out, and I'm going to still use that, or you can use your sponge, but at this point I feel like there's a little extra clay that needs to be cleaned from the bottom. So gently go from the top to the bottom. Okay, there. And then clean that clay also. There, ta-da! I love that. It's kind of like a cute little vase. Okay, and use the other side to lift it. I mean, at this point, you can use your sponge, whatever, but it's so pretty. I love it. But let me show you the other pieces. I know you can pretty much see the smallest and a little bigger size. And here is the medium one. I did. It's hard. It's stick to the ground. I cannot. There. Okay. There. That's medium. That's big. And that's the cute small one. I hope you liked it. Tomorrow I'm going to do live once again to trim these, and it's going to be very satisfying with the Griffin tool that I have right next to me. And let's see how that goes. But for now, I'm going to cover these with the plastic wrap, and I won't let it dry out speedily. But guess what? Because I'm in the garage, maybe I can let them slowly dry out. Because yesterday it was too hot in the garage because the kiln is firing. Today it's not going to be because the kiln is almost done. It's 240 degrees Fahrenheit and it's cooling down. It's not ramping up. So it's going to be totally fine. And I might do another live for unloading kiln because I'm doing bisque firing. And here, let me put these pieces away so that I don't accidentally touch them. And take this away and lift this thing up so at least you get to see my face. Oops, that's too much wobbly. But yeah, taking the bat, I'm gonna clean this a little bit and let me push that down so you can enjoy that I'm cleaning this. Is this portrait or are you seeing the portrait mode? If not, I think this is much better. That way at least you get to see me and the wheel together at the same time, not like staring at the empty wheel. So let me use the water. All the slip that I got from just doing pieces. It's I can put it on the plaster of Paris bat and let it dry a little bit, and then I can reuse it tomorrow. If not, I can reclaim it because at this point I can do however many times I wanted to, and then I can reuse the clay. But for now, I'm going to clean it because always when I clean it, it is so satisfying to come back tomorrow and see the clean wheel. You see, when the wheel is shining, I love to do more. When it's dirty, I just want to put things away because I can't. So let me clean the bats. If there are any people that does pottery, just let me know how to make this one. Kind of like don't go, what do you call, like, I don't know what exactly it's called, but it's when it's wet, I have to struggle a bit so that this is a wooden bat. When it soaks up too much water, you know what I'm talking about? It just goes out of the shape and it gets like a little unusable. I don't know if that is the word, but yeah, it just goes out of the shape I want. So might have to put a lot of weight on it, but I cannot think of anything. Let me show you what exactly I'm talking about. I am using this one. Oops. Okay. I'm using this one. I used this one the other day. And when you see it, it's kind of like went out of shape, like it is a little U shape instead of like flat. And when I put it on here, it's like moving up and down. I don't know how to kind of get this back. I thought these are reusable. That's the whole point that I got it. So I wish I can bend it backwards or so that I can use it many times. So I have to find some really heavy weights and then maybe put it. I hope I'm not going to break these pieces by doing that. But I don't know if anybody has any suggestions or like smart ideas that you do and it's working for you. But yeah, this is so far. I got this new camera. I really like it because whenever I'm moving, this goes with me. It kind of interacts with my face. I cannot show you how it moves. Maybe I can. Let me just clean my hands real quick and I can take my phone and I'll show you what this is. It's super cool. I fall in love with this thing. I just experimented with it yesterday, and this came with like this nice microphone. It's clip-on, wireless, nothing that I have to think about. But let me just clean my hands. I have my apron and I use this one instead of wearing. I clean my hands because I can. Okay, let me show you this real quick. Sorry, my hands are in your way. Okay, so you see that? It's moving whichever, I don't know if you can see that, but it will move whichever direction I am moving because it sees my face and then, yeah, it is moving. It's hard for me to kind of like show you, but yes, it does the job. But yeah, for now, thanks for stopping by. Have a great week. And I probably will do kiln loading. It's almost done, but it's not there yet. It's 238 degrees Fahrenheit. And I cannot wait. I kept peeping from this hole that I have. I just turn on the camera light and then I just keep looking at it because I cannot wait to see how it turns out. And then I'm going to add some more, or I'm going to do some more lives for glazing. And yeah, there's a lot more that's going to come. So thank you so much. And if you haven't subscribed, please do consider subscribing, and that means a lot. Okay. Hey. Now the thing is, live do not want to, it kept reconnecting. There's a bug.